You know those unrequited love stories? Person A is in love with person B, but person B doesn't know and is already in a relationship, so person A struggles with their feelings and the ability to move on. This story is like that, and if you wanted to be more specific, person A is a high school girl, and the person B she's in love with is her childhood friend and brother's wife. If I Could Reach You is a heart-wrenching Yuri manga written and illustrated by TMNR. It is about Yuta, a high schooler who's hopelessly in love with her crush and sister-in-law, Koru, and having to navigate living with her brother and her crush. Desperate to move on from her unrequited feelings, Yuta pulls away, but when the cracks in her brother's marriage begin to show, Koru begins to confide in her new teenage sister, which just makes matters worse. For the non-weebs and hentai enthusiasts, Yuri is Japanese jargon for content or genres involving lesbian relationships or homoeroticism in Japanese media such as manga, light novels, etc. So there you go, you can't say you don't learn something new from this channel. So I stumbled upon volume 1 of this manga while perusing through Comixology. It was part of its new manga releases selection and it caught my attention, so I bought it and went in with no expectations. So as stated earlier, Yuto is a high schooler who is in love with her sister-in-law, Koru. The two have been friends since Yuto was a child and Koru was a high schooler, with the former seeing the latter as a kind of big sister. But eventually, as the two grew up, Yuto's feelings for her blossomed and she realized she was romantically in love with Koru. But however, Koru is in a relationship with Yuta's brother Reichi, and the two eventually got married, and Yuta lives with the two, making her situation incredibly awkward and frustrating. Confiding with her friend Kuro, Yuta wants to move on from her unrequited love, but finds herself in situations with her crush that reignites her love for the latter, making Yuta's decision to keep or remove her feelings even more of a struggle. I want to start off with the review with the art style because I have a lot to talk about with the story and I want to save that for last. The art style is nice. It's really good. TMNR does a great job of using the art to portray emotional or romantic scenes quite well and leave an impact with the reader. It's quite beautiful in a way. So I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. It is really good and at times beautiful art. So onto the story. The story, If I Could Reach You, is a wholesome, heart-wrenching tale. You follow Yuta throughout every day of her life and you bear witness to her constant struggles with her feelings. She is deeply in love with Koru and we see how much it hurts for her to be in love. All she wants in this world is to tell her how she feels and wants Koru to reciprocate said feelings, but she, who is already in a committed relationship, only sees Yuta as a little sister to care for. Yuta wants to move on, but she's always dragged back by her emotions. The mangaka does a exceptionally amazing job of portraying this pain. I really feel for her and connect with her. She only has a single friend, Kuro, to confide in about her situation and has no experience or referencing to help overcome it until she meets a fellow student, Konatsu, who had gone through the same experience. Konatsu was in love with somebody she shouldn't have really been in love with, a teacher, and although she says she's moved on from her, it's implied she still has lingering feelings of love towards that teacher. But even confiding with someone who's gone through the same experience, Yuta is still unable to make up her mind. Oddly enough, I found myself relating to Yuta. Having experienced unrequited love myself, I know how hard it is to have these feelings and to try to move on. Whether the person you're in love with either doesn't know or possibly doesn't feel the same way or is already in a relationship, you want these feelings out in the open, but you keep bottling them up inside and telling yourself, move on, it won't work, don't keep latching onto these emotions. There's been quite a few women I've been in love with throughout my life and times where I not only wish I told them how I felt, but they felt the same way. So while reading this manga, I felt a connection to Yuta. While it might not be the exact same situation, I know what she's going through and it really tugs at my heartstrings and makes this manga an emotionally engaging story. And also, oddly enough, I found myself relating to her friend Kuro. Kuro is the emotional support friend. Yuta dumps all of her problems onto her, and Kuro does the best she can with advice that can help. Funny story, back in high school, I was a guy advisor, to one of my female friends. She liked a guy and wanted my advice on how to approach the situation and whether she should get into a relationship or not. I don't know why me, someone who's only had one girlfriend and didn't put enough effort into said relationship for it to last, is the best choice for guy advice. But regardless of that experience, I found myself relating with Kuro in this manga. So onto the story rating, I'd give volume 1 of If I Could Reach You the full 5. It's an emotional and heart-wrenching but engaging story of young, unrequited love and the struggles that come with that. If romance stories are your thing, then I'd highly recommend it. I really didn't have any expectations of this series, and the premise wasn't anything particularly original, but I honestly can't wait to read more. I'm shockingly invested to see how the story progresses and finishes. My my range of manga is expanding. No, well, my range of manga genre is expanding. Like, I would never have read something that had involved cooking, but here I am having read all of the current English releases of Food Wars. Like, it's shocking what stuff I usually wouldn't go for. I'm actually really liking, and this is another one, like a romance manga that's not really my thing, but I am invested in this story. I really want to see how it progresses and finishes. So that is it for this review of if I could reach you. Sorry, yeah, this review for that manga. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.